got stuff from Evergoods. I am so pumped to get my hands on these new Evergoods bags. They recently updated their bags, and I am excited to see what the updates are because this company is one of my favorite bag making companies in all the world, and I look at bags basically for a living. Now, why is Evergoods one of my favorite makers of bags? I just love some of their designs. The CPL24 was one of the first ones that I came out, or that I experienced. Nice little boxy aesthetic. It's sort of like, I don't know, something about it's a little bit tough, but it's pretty minimal and low key. It's like not leading with tough, but I like the toughness of the fabric and the materials, though the material does tend to pick up dog hair, stuff like that. I love the big chunky YKK big number 10 zips. Simple, elegant ribbon with a little like not at the end zip pulls. But it's their harness system, right? The harness system is a really interesting innovation. The company's interesting, yada yada. But to me, I just like using their bags. Like their Civic half zip is the ultimate regular everyday bag in my book. I should just get into this. Okay, first up looks like the mountain panel loader. So as I was saying, their harness system has this interesting sort of like Donatello Ninja Turtle kind of shell thing that comes up. You see how this is just, it's not actually sewn in like it's a separate deal. It's like this material, this fabric comes up and is included in the design, right? I don't know. It's an incorporated shoulder strap. There's something fascinating about it, and it's quite comfortable. I love the stretch mesh they use on the water bottle pockets and their external materials and all this stuff. This is their mountain panel loader, okay? This is, check this out. You open this sucker up, and it goes, some of their bags go full clamshell, right? Full clamshell. Lovely internal. This is the same inner liner, maybe slightly different, right? But it feels the same tactically. It feels maybe a little bit, has a little more shine to it. I just like this already. I think it's so great. This stretch mesh with an interesting kind of padding. If you carry the way that they're telling you should carry, it ends up being an awesome product. They don't tell you how to carry very much. They just give you it they're like, hey, see this? We sewed this in just like this. Get used to this. Use this sometimes when you need to do that, right? If they built it in, chances are, I just think they're good designers, you know? I think they are, personally. I've loved their bags up to now. This mesh, for example, what I'm really talking about is their materials palette. This mesh is burly but dry. It's kind of nice. And when you pull this panel, for instance, if you leave this zipped up. By the way, these YKK-10 zips right here, these chunky, like sewn in so that backwards way, so the teeth aren't on the outside. It's sort of this nice looking clean thing here. They can be a little tough at first, right? They break in over time. One of the best kinds of zippers out there for longevity as far as I'm concerned. And then here's a little panel, an internal panel. You'll see this on their CPL24 as well, right? This, because of the materials out here, if you have this on body and you pull it off, you open this guy up, you've got access into this. I just think that the way that it's designed for these kinds of uses, this is their like outdoorsman bag. This is their like, hey man, small but like tight kit for you need to do something serious. Like you can count on this, right? That's I think what their goal is, and that's what I think what their chops are as a company. One of the guys coming from GoRuck, and I think the other from Patagonia. It looks like this top pocket on here is slightly updated. I love this. Look at how great that is. So this is like your, what I call your like first order external access, right? The thing where you're like, I need to throw my AirPods or my phone in, boom, boom, right? Maybe you have a snack bar, things that you need to get access to right here. Maybe like this grows over time and you have like a category of things that are like first order access externally. And then there's like stuff that you don't need to get into until you're at your camp, for example, or you're at the cafe or wherever one of your destinations are. Like you don't want to access that stuff when you're out and about, right? Water bottle holders on both sides. So maybe you have an umbrella in one and a water bottle in the other. Maybe you can fit a tripod, a small travel tripod, because you have these compression straps. My buddy Jay loves compression straps. He's like, I love compression strap. It's like, you know, You don't need to bring that much, but your bag still looks good. I don't tend to love compression straps on a bag. I also don't tend to love built-in hip straps. So theirs is like pull offable. You can pull these off. I don't like hip straps where it's just webbing. But if I was out and about, and really using this in the wild, I would want to have some hip straps that actually had some padding on here personally. I wonder if they have an accessory for that. But one of the things I love about this company, or have traditionally, is it's minimalism, it's focus. Okay, it looks like we have a CPL, a CPL28 and a CPL24. All right, so this is the big, I'm remembering now. This was what the update was. They had released a larger version of their CPL, Civic panel loader. Okay, here's what we're looking at, all right? CPL 24 and 28. Can you tell the difference? Can you see the difference in size here? Okay, I have not watched my review on this. I have not done any research on what's what. I haven't even held one of their Civic panel loaders in an awful long time. But this was one of my very favorite bags of all. Like when this came out, I was just like a little bit like, well, I don't want to do videos about bags anymore. I just loved everything about this aesthetic. But what ended up happening is it started to feel a little tight. It didn't quite fit as I started making more videos and needing more of my camera out, more of a tripod, like more stuff with me. It started to feel kind of tight. Okay, first order external access here, right above the straps. You've got this like whale shark mouth. Hi, good to see you guys. Big, wide taco, whale shark kind of mouth. So you put your phone in there and you still have stuff on the side. What's important about this is it's easy one-handed, okay? To just like, if the bag's at your feet and if there's enough heft in it, if there's enough stuff in it that it's not gonna move that much, you can give it a quick jerk to shut it or open it, right? That kind of one-handed shit ends up making a difference. Kind of like mountain aesthetic with this like safety security red key clip that's just sewn on there. It's not removable, so this is, I don't ever use those things, but I actually like it when I open it up because it's the one little piece of color in this bag. And who's it for? It's not for anybody else. You know what I mean? It's not for that lady behind the bar at the coffee shop. It is not, for that cool, successful-looking dude walking by. It's just for me, baby. It's me. It's just me. Thank you, Evergoods. Laptop pocket down one of the sides here, okay? And you have, again, a red security type tape thing in there if you want to really lock in your laptop. Great protection for this thing. You can feel the rigidness of this back panel. They have a very rigid back panel in here. Like GoRuck has that. They call it their like bulletproof laptop compartment. It's a piece of plastic, right? And it's like high density something. But this is similar here. It feels nice and rigid. That kind of structure is one thing that you notice in the bag. There's some structure to this panel down here. It's quite rigid, right? In here, you could fit your like iPad on the outside and then your laptop in this little, whatchamacallem. You could have a book out there. So there's some capacity built into this pocket, right? This is what a lot of bag companies don't end up doing. It's building in dimension to a pocket like that. Because the truth is, you close up your laptop, it takes space. Right? And if you're shoving it in last, like I always am, I hate that feeling when you're like, with the zipper trying to get it done. That's all gone in this bag. I noticed that from the start. It's things like that. Even if, I don't even know if I call it out in the video, the first one I did, which was probably like more than a year ago on this bag. You notice it subconsciously. That's what it's like to use a product every single day. Get on the list at matterful.co. That's the kind of stuff we're interested in. Handle on one side of the bag. Okay, side handle. I always like side handle. It's the side where your laptop compartment is and your front quick access, or your vertical access compartment. I'll show you that in a second. So you have that pocket, and then you have, or handle rather, and you have the handle on the top. These are quite just rigid piece of again, feels like plastic in there, right? Where it's just like, oh, that's serious. And then this heavy duty exterior material, which is one of the things you will get used to on this bag, it is a heavy duty material. It's like made for being used. Zipper front access. So this is with the bag empty. There's nothing in it. The more there is in it, the more this will get easier, but it's also a brand new zip. right? I wouldn't be surprised if in a little while, even empty, it would just do flippy flappy real easily. But inside of here, you just got a little bit of, there's just one little mesh pocket with a zipper over to the right. One little pocket that allows you to keep some stuff that you know you're gonna need in your bag, but you don't want it flopping around out here. Everything else out here, which by the way, there's some dimension built into this pocket, like a little bit. Maybe there actually isn't. Maybe this one's flat. It's just built, you see how this bag has this kind of cocoon that comes up like this, that shape to it. That's one of the things that they do that I think really, really well. The shape that their bags take ends up looking like, you know, this should be in the MoMA. I'm, you know, I don't think people are like, you know, I don't think they would say we're bag artistes, but for me, I'm like, no, man, that shit's badass. Like, hey, Elon, when you're looking for backpacks, take people out into space, check these guys out. This would pick up the Mars dust really, really badly, though. I think we might have to go for more of a Hypalon in that kind of environment. There is one other pouch in here, one other place to like throw your glasses, probably is what it's made for. Perfect size for my smaller iPhone Pro-y size, iPhone Pro-y bro-y. But in here, maybe a book, maybe a thin pouch, right? And then a couple things organized against the panel. And then you have your main compartment, which just opens clamshell. You have one stretchy meshy right here, which is nice double-sided stretch mesh material. It's like not mesh, it's like, I mean, it's a stretch fabric, but I like this, man. They were the first guys I saw personally that do like just this roll, like, you know, you just double it over and everything's sewn into the edge, and so you just have this folded edge right here, and it ends up being real nice. Zipper and zipper, right? So when you're on body, all of those zippers, the outside one, the inside one, the zipper inside this vertical on the front, your laptop. The only thing that's not is the quick access and then the main compartment, right? So everything is organized towards on-body access to your left. So you leave the bag on your left shoulder, pull it around, zip inside of pockets, get around. I'm making a big deal about that because you're gonna notice that. Which side's it on? You gotta get it in your head. It's on your left. And then this pocket up top actually is really great because it's not see-through. So like this one's mesh, you can see through. The ones on the inside of here are mostly mesh. This is like you can throw stuff in and know that it's there, but you don't have to look at it all the time because you're really open it up, going straight for the thing you're going for, which in a pocketing situation like this, which by the way, this is the 24, okay? In case you're wondering what size, this first one that we've been looking at so far is just the 24. This is made for some pouches, right? Like you just love having pouches that you pull in and out of here. I'll link below right now to my page on pouches. I'm not gonna tell you about pouches here. I've got videos about pouches. Are you kidding me? You need pouches? I have seen so many goddamn pouches. Now the 28, let's check out the difference in size. Some, by the way, some little like almost molly patching right here, so you can actually attach some sort of an admin pouch or something like that if you want, or use it to run some pens across. I've seen people do. This is the 28, okay? A little bit larger. Now, what's interesting about it is it's a little bit larger, but it's not necessarily that much bigger on the outside, right? So if you have any worries about space concerns at all, like this ends up being great. But what I love so much about the 24 is it did force me into bringing less, which is eventually why I ended up moving, because I went into camera stuff. This could still make, if you use a Micro Four Thirds camera or something like that, and you have a little pouch that you like to go in here, this would make a great, like, it's sort of interesting to me because the 28 isn't that much bigger, but you could get away with it. In everyday life, it's not that much larger, so you get that same really cool sort of design, that really interesting way. Like, what's great about a daily carry bag is you're interacting with it every single day, right? So you get that great mode of interacting with all of those zippers and all of those little pockets. What I love about these guys is it's never too many pockets, right? It's like, Voltaire? Or someone, Rousseau, who was it? Who was like, I didn't have enough time to write you a shorter letter, so this one will be long. To make something simple is actually challenging to do. Now, these bags are not necessarily like simple. Like, go with a very simple bag, and you're gonna notice it, where you just have a main capacity and like a JanSport pocket up on the front, right? That is one way of living that is like so nice, actually. This is a little more organized than that, a little more serious in its material selection, well, a lot more serious. And then you've got this pretty interesting jetpacky sort of harness system that doesn't look too, I don't think it looks too strange. You don't look like you're like, whoa, who's this guy? Is he from the future? What is this? This guy thinks he's in a John Wick movie, right? It's a little bit special forces, but ultimately it feels good. The challenge I had with these sometimes too is when I'm riding my bike, you get this like, it's not made for that. It is made for walking. It is made for standing. So if you're riding your bike a lot, I'd probably lean against this, depending on where your posture is for your bike. But I can even feel it there. Anytime I arch my back like that, anytime I get my butt out, you know you got to get your butt out, right? You know you can't be afraid of your butt. You're really just a mouth and an asshole, remember? So anytime you arch back that way. But when you're walking long distances, this is really comfortable. But one of the things that some of you really aren't going to like is it's not a big, meshy back panel. There's not a bunch of breathability. I know some of you who are doing backpack carry like every single day, that is an essential item for you. Ultimately, I'm just very glad that these gentlemen sent these bags out to me. Thank you, the Evergoods lads, and thanks for designing such a badass bag. This is a quickie just to show you their upgrades, and honestly, that was me looking at it live. That was my first time looking at it. I don't know. I don't know what you can do for content these days, but that was that. And what I know about this bag, though, which I've explained throughout the entire thing, I mean, I've used these bags for countless hours, really so much. They're Mountain Half Zip. Was that what it's called? The something zip. That is my yoga bag, man. I use that every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Threw my yoga thing in the back, jumped on the electric skateboard, and went down to my hot yoga studio. Hot yoga is going to save your life if you give it a try. If you just get into some hot yoga. My favorite is the Bikram 60-minute series. You know, you just like shorten it up a little bit. Just get into those things because it takes a while for your body, right? It takes a while. And just so you know, these things will take a while. You'll get used to them over time. It's one of the things I love so much about them. They are not a BS product. Thank you, Evergoods, for being legit. A lot of legit companies out there. A lot of legit people out there. You guys find the legit. Be with what is matterful, right? Stop spending money on stuff that ends up letting you down and then living in that discontent. Not even discontent. It's the other D word. It's when you are disappointed. The thing your dad feels about you or whatever. Not you, Dad. I know you love me. Don't live in the disappointment, the discontent, the disconnection, right? Get stuff that matters to you and don't have very much of it. This is the key to navigating the commercial world, right? To navigating the maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe she's fucking important and special and a snowflake just like you are, right? Maybe you can't tell her who to be. Right? Maybe she's figuring it out on her own as well. And we're all in this together, right? On a spaceship Earth, right? I have met few products in my life that excite me as much as these have throughout my life. So I just this is like a love note. Thanks, Evergoods. Thanks to all the companies making great stuff. Thanks to all the people who are working in the cafes and the restaurants or doing whatever they, helping their little community get by a time of intense insanity, fucking confusion at the very least, right? But just like I've heard one spiritual teacher say, remember, confusion is the first part of enlightenment. So you can say it's on the road. All right, let's stop it there. Love you. Talk to you later. Links below to my favorite daily carry bags. Links below to my favorite travel bags. I've got a list of those two things over at matterful.co. My favorite business daily carry bags. Daily carry bags for business and if you need to go to the office and the gym. Not that many of us are doing that much anymore. And as always, you can support me on Patreon if you just like what we're doing here and like the vibe and what we're thank you. You guys help me pay for breakfast in the morning for all my children. My hungry, hungry children. Thank you. See ya.